Yeah, we're back!
Hello again, fans. Welcome to another Invasion Productions shoot interview. We are graced with the presence today of Aaron Idle, formerly Aaron Blaze. Thanks for being with us here today, Mr.
Not
Idle.
a problem.
Good to have you here in the hot seat in the illustrious Invasion Production Studios.
Love it. It's magnificent.
It is May the 3rd, is that correct? The 3rd?
That's just the...
We are fresh off of Ultimate Wrestling's Mayhem. Had a great time. So we usually like to start these out with, the normal question. As a child or a youth,
a ute,
yeah, as Joe Pesci would say.
As a ute.
How did you get caught up in the magic of professional wrestling? Not, getting in the business, but just what turned you on to watching pro wrestling?
See, grew up in this little podunk town called Cottondale, Florida. Used to go up every Saturday up to Dothan, Alabama to the Farm Center with Continental Wrestling, Southeastern.
Continental, yeah.
And just as a kid, just watched it. I mean, it was great, man. The crowds were into it, and just something clicked. Back then as a kid, man, I kind of want to do this. And then, started growing up, adolescence, puberty. I found Mary, and then I found Mary, and my penis, and it just kind of went from there. Just lost interest until got back into college. So
okay, so you enjoyed professional wrestling as a child, but then once your hormones kicked in and a little bit of the herbage.
Yeah, when you get a small town like that, you're trying to be cool. All the cool kids aren't watching wrestling.
I hear you.
Release opening, so it's like just a little cheesy skateboarder, a little surfer in a farming town. So I'm just gonna keep the wrestling kayfabe for right now.
Sure.
I want to kind of get laid.
There you go. Okay.
It still didn't work.
Did you just watch as a kid? Did you just watch Continental, or did you watch the WWF and the stuff that was on the major mainstream?
Watched WCW mainly because mom, grandmother, always watching that, so it was always on, and it was their TV. So whatever.
Oh yeah, the old ladies really get into the.
Yeah. My grandmother today, she still is into the kayfabe.
Really?
I mean, and I love it. So I still try to work Gramps.
Good stuff. Any favorites as a kid as far as Continental and?
Continental, typical old school Austin Idol. I mean, he was the great baby face. The Armstrongs or the Fullers, just depending on which side they were working at the time. Dutch Mantell, so forgotten favorite with the damn polar bear boots. So, and for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, Dutch Mantell literally had a pair of wrestling boots made out of polar bear skin.
Nice.
And that was the baddest ass thing ever, because if his hair on his back would have been as white, he could have made a pair of Dutch Mantell boots.
He was a hairy son of a bitch.
Yeah, nair, Dutch, nair.
All right, what year would you say it was when you started watching wrestling again?
Probably around about 1994, 95, back when the Monday Night Wars
right,
kicked
as they were
off.
kicking in.
Remember one of the guys I worked with was working at Walmart in the back and receiving through college, and the first run before I dropped out. And we got, oh man, you gonna watch TV tonight? I'm like, dude, I don't watch TV. He's like, man, you gotta watch wrestling, man. Monday Night Raw or Nitro. I'm like, what the hell is that? And he tells me about it. I'll check it out. And kind of started watching back again, and it just started building up, and then the NWO click started, and I'm just like, wow, that's awesome. I mean, it was really, really exciting. It was really good TV, and for an 18 to 25-year-old male, I mean, that was the stuff,
Yeah,
still didn't focus on WWF because it was still kind of the lame, cheesy, pre-Attitude Era.
Papa Shango and all that kind of stuff.
And I'm just like, okay, Shawn Michaels still had a mullet. So, but definitely 95 era, that was...
Yeah, that's when the NWO and stuff, that's when it started to become cool to watch wrestling again.
Yeah, everybody's into it, and I'm just like, dude, this is great. I mean, especially the cruiserweights, because that really caught my attention, because I was always a fan of Liger and Pillman and what they could do. And like, they were small guys, and I was always a small kid growing up, so I'm like, dude, if they can do it, I can do it. And then I realized, it's Liger and Pillman, and but really started getting interested. Maybe I need to try this out.
All right. What was your first exposure to an indie wrestling show?
I never really went to any indies until I actually started working on the indie circuit.
Really?
Never was interested in watching it on TV, but never really. There wasn't a lot of shows running in the area where I was growing up, so it wasn't until I actually started training and getting into the business when I started working independent shows.
Okay. How did you make contact with the person you would end up training with initially?
Started out, a friend of mine, good guy, Lawrence Escoriaza, came up to the idea one day. We were working out in the gym, and he's like, Puerto Rican. He's like, man, I think I want to start wrestling. I'm like, yeah? He's like, yeah. So, because that's really the way he talks.
That's so stereotypical. I want to start wrestling, B.
I mean, really, and you would think, because he's completely Americanized, but he's still got the accent.
Yeah.
But, so he's like, yeah, let's start wrestling. Okay, cool. And mentioned it to my mom, and it was just kind of like a flighting fancy. And then I come home one day to do laundry, and she goes like, hey, here's a phone number. This guy running a wrestling school. It's like in the free advertiser. So I'm
really?
Like, oh yeah, it's like $350. Sweet, because I was planning on actually going from Mariana, from Chipola Junior College, transfer her to West Florida, Pensacola, and actually go train with Adrian Street.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, sweet. Is it $2,000 or $350?
Right.
So went up to Dothan, Alabama, met this guy named Will Pritchard, who we'll talk about later.
I've heard his name a couple times in these from a couple of different people.
Yeah, and he's a good worker. He's worked a lot of people out of some money. Way to go there, boss. But talked to him. He set us up, $50 a training session. Not bad. Got a rink, so that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
And Lawrence and I, we started working out, learned how to bump, run the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much after that, we started training ourselves.
Right.
Because that was the extent of what he could do.
Right.
For our style, because we weren't 350-pound brawlers. We were actually trying to be wrestlers. So, but that was really the extent of where we started off. So, you got to thank him for having that ring and opportunity, but at the same time, he didn't teach me shit.
Right. Just got your foot in the door.
Yeah, that's really all you need is getting the foot in the door. So, of course, I'm still here, and Lawrence isn't. So,
whatever happened to that guy?
He lost sight of the big picture of you go out and wrestle and have fun and enjoy it. And if you get picked up by a big league, then that's great. If not, at least go out and play it. Enjoy the sport. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are playing, minor league softball or baseball that have no chance in hell of ever getting to a
right in
paid
major
gig.
leagues.
But they love it, and so you go out and they play every Sunday.
Right.
And that's pretty much what we're doing on this level. We love it, and that's why we do it. Because I think a lot of the guys have a lot more talent than the dudes up north,
mm-hmm.
but we don't have the bodies.
Right.
We're not soap opera actors. We're not underwear models. We're fucking wrestlers, dude.
Yeah, a lot of it's about look nowadays.
Right. So, and Vince isn't going to pick us up. So we go out there and bust our ass in these little shows, and they're paying fans to get their money's worth.
I hear you. All right. What was the first promotion you got hooked up with as far as being part of an actual independent show?
That would still be with Will Pritchard, who started his own country, Southern Extreme Wrestling. I booked a show in Mariana, Florida, National Guard Armory. It was actually one of the first shows they actually had in that town in a very long time. And we trained for about 6 months, working with each other.
Right.
And had a beautiful match as far as a couple green digs.
Right.
You can have. I mean, because we were just full of intensity. I mean, we studied everything. Studied tapes, worked out with each other. So it was a wonderful match, and the crowd loved it.
And that was your first match?
First match.
Bye, Maze. Maze is leaving.
All right, Maze is leaving.
And so is Marcus Gibbs, the greenhorn.
Who's Marcus Gibbs?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That black guy.
Oh, There's a black guy in here? Holy Jesus.
Where'd he come from?
What the hell did somebody tell me?